Welcome to Season 3 of MTE's Plugged In Podcast. This season, we will continue to explore the world of electric vehicles. Whether you're a seasoned EV driver or you're just beginning your journey into electric vehicles, this podcast is for you. For a more enhanced experience, be sure to watch the video version of this podcast that will be linked in the show notes.
Hello, I'm Brandon Wagoner.
And I'm Amy Byers, and welcome to MTE's Plugged In Podcast. So Brandon, it's hard to believe that we are here at Christmas time again. Last year we did a list of Christmas gifts for the EV lover in your life, so we thought let's do this again and make this an annual thing. So it's hard to believe that it is time to start shopping for Christmas presents, but here we are. So I have asked you to do a little research and pick out things that are maybe you want on your Christmas list. And I will say, before we get into this list, I want to make sure to point out that we do kind of have some price, what these are priced at, but the majority of them, when we were looking at them before this podcast, were 40% off or 50% off. They were all on sale, but I'm just listing like the regular retail price. But chances are, as we're getting close to Christmas, and definitely, right now it's Black Friday, so there may be some deals today if you want to get out there. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. So, but let's get started. So the first one on your list is the CAS Pro 2.0. So what in the world is a CAS Pro?
Well, I mean, it's sort of self-explanatory, right? It just casts. No, in all seriousness.
It was not self-explanatory to me.
No. In all seriousness, what's cool about this episode is this, to me, is kind of like, what are the new gadgets? What are the new tech that's out there? And so to your point, some of the price points are a little high, but we kind of zoom back a little bit and say, these are some cool things that maybe you haven't come across yet. And so the first one I found is this CAS Pro 2.0. What it does is it actually casts your phone to if you have a Tesla, it casts to the Tesla screen. And so if you're a GM owner or something like that, you have the opportunity to use Apple CarPlay, but not Tesla. You've got to use Tesla's thing. So what this does, it allows your phone to do Apple CarPlay on your Tesla, if that's what you prefer. It also has an Android mode, same thing. You can also mirror your phone screen to the other screen. So it's just trying to get a little more functionality out of that screen in your Teslas that don't have the native Apple CarPlay.
So this is really for the Tesla owners.
This one is. Some of them are specific to each one because there's some compatibility issues, but yes, this one's for that CarPlay ability for Tesla owners.
Right. So the price on this one, the regular price, was $240, but I do believe it was on sale when I looked at it yesterday. So, if maybe a bunch of people go in together, all the kids go in and get that for dad or something.
That's right.
But,
that's perfect.
All right. So let's move on to the next one. It is a Bloom Car LED door sill 2.0. So I looked this one up, and I'm like, I wonder, first of all, tell us about it, and then I'll ask my question.
Well, this one is, this is for any car.
That was my question.
Right.
My question, is this for EVs? Because I'm thinking, I think my husband might like this on his truck. So.
Yeah, well, and some of these are not EV specific, but I think people that are EV owners might gravitate a little bit more. I'll tell you why I picked this one. Mm-hmm. If you're a Tesla owner, one of the native upgrades you can get is an illuminated panel. So when you open your door, at the bottom, it'll illuminate. And what this does is basically replicates that, and it's an adhesive that you put down, and it's got an LED in it, and you can get it for a variety of different makes. It'll have the make of the car, whatever what you want it to say, and you put it down there. And what's cool is, so you open the door, it sort of lights, gives it a little bit of ambient lighting. But there's no wires. You don't have to wire it into your car system or anything like that. It's got a battery that can be recharged So it's kind of a cool little wireless. It kind of reminds me, those under cabinet lights that are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have several of those in my closets.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
So the same thing, and just kind of adds a little bit of neat little touch to the car.
Yeah, and I guess the price point on this really varies because if you just need 2, if you need 4, whatever. So it's anywhere between like maybe $59.99 to $148.98, depending on how many you do and that kind of thing, and your car.
Right.
So I noticed when you got on that site, you picked the make of your car, you picked your model of your car, and then it gives you the options. So, but yeah, that was a neat one, I thought.
Yeah. So this next one that I put on here was, any sort of NACS to CCS charging adapter, whether it's CCS to NACS or NACS to CCS, either way, we're all moving towards a NACS system. So in just a couple of weeks, 2025, all these manufacturers are going to be making their vehicles with a NACS charging port. And what that stands for is North American Charging Standard. That was the Tesla standard, the Tesla plug. Everyone's adopted it. Not everybody, but the majority of vehicles are adopting it. And so what's cool about this is if you have a car that has a CCS, this migration over to NACS sort of was announced in perpetuity to announcing that Tesla is opening up their charging station to non-Tesla drivers. But in order to do that, you need to be able to plug into the NACS port. So, some folks that are Ford owners, they're going to get a conversion adapter in the mail for free. But if you're the EV owner in your life is a CCS car driver and they're not on that list where they're going to get a free one, this would be a great thing for them to have. Opens up a lot more charging network options to them as they're traveling around.
Yeah, and this was just on Amazon, and it was $189. So, and I will pause, and I'll mention this again at the end to remind everybody. We will have all these links in the show notes. So if you're unsure where to go, you can check out the show notes and get that. So the next one is another one for a Tesla owner, which we know you are a Tesla owner, so I guess that's why we have all these Tesla ones on here. But this is the Tessery, am I saying that right? 7.2 rear seat entertainment system, which I know you have kids in your life. So this is I think this is more. So if Brandon's wife is listening, this is Brandon's Christmas wish list. But tell us about this.
So I mean, and think about it in a big umbrella term. Anyone that's got kids and travels a lot with kids, a rear seat infotainment system, entertainment system is really handy. A lot of the SUVs and stuff have the screens in the back of the seat headrest, but for my Tesla Model Y, I've got a big screen on the front, and I've got nothing in the back. And even if I'm driving, that front screen does not show movies and stuff, but it can stream Disney Plus and all that stuff. So what this is, it goes on the back of your, I guess your compartment console. And so it plugs right there and integrates directly into the system, and you can stream stuff right there on the back. The kids can watch that. If you're a family member, the EV owner in your life doesn't have a Tesla, another good idea would be just some kind of rear entertainment system that they can put. We've had the ones in the past that go over the headrest and Velcro in. I hate those personally because there's cables everywhere, and my kids get in and out of the car. They step on the cables. It's just a recipe for disaster.
When my daughter was little, I had the mom van, and ours it was on the back of the console, and you would lift it up, and there was a screen, and there was a VCR player in the console. So we've certainly have come. I'm dating myself, but we certainly have come a long way from that. But that is definitely, I think, most parents that have kids in the back, that's a plus. So the price point for that, I will say, it was a little high. It was like $599 was their regular price, but it was on sale when I looked at it yesterday for $239. So act quickly, and maybe you can catch.
There's different
that
ones, and I guess the only thing I would tell you is these are not like officially Tesla licensed. So do your research, make sure that it's going to be safe and that sort of thing. And the other thing, I guess this is probably a good time to say too, we don't get any sort of
Right.
feed or kickback or anything. If you decide to buy any of these, there's this is just us kind of researching. So.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one, again, I think this one's very doable.
Yeah.
I think this is more of a stocking stuffer situation.
Exactly.
And it can be for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind having one of these myself. So this is the, I don't know how to say this, Carvey? I don't know. Anyway,
probably that's
don't know the
perfect.
brand name.
Yeah.
But it's a cleaning gel, and I've seen these advertised, like you'll see them on the little reels on the social media or whatever, where it just looks like, it reminds me of that slime that the kids had, just like a ball of that goo.
Yep.
But you can take it and it will get the dirt, like you can put it in different things. Your cup holder or whatever, and it gets the gunk out.
Yeah, and this is another one you can get for any vehicle.
Right.
You can actually use it for keyboards. I mean, there's all sorts of cool applications. I do have this, and so whenever I wash the car, I have the kids help me, and I'm pretty fortunate because I don't have to really twist their arm. They just kind of volunteer. But what they will do is they fight over which one gets to do the gel, because it's cool to them to play with it. It's like silly putty, and you're rolling it around. And I will tell you, it's gross. The stuff that it picks up, the stuff that you're driving around and you had no idea, but it's perfect for those seat cracks that you can't get in. The vacuum cleaner doesn't pick it up. You just kind of rub that on there and it pulls that stuff out, and it looks like my car is detailed after about an hour and a half of just washing it in the driveway.
So then what do you do with that? Is it a one-time use, or you just let it just lives there forever, and then eventually the gel eats it? I don't know.
Yeah. What I do, and I don't know if this is the right way, but eventually I guess it's going to run out of its useful life. But I just kind of fold it back up and just roll it back in another ball, and I start rolling it around again, and it starts pulling stuff up. So it's kind of gross, I know, but it really does make a difference on cleaning the car.
Well, and the price point on that is like $9.99. So, I mean, you could get a couple. Get one for each car. So the next one on the list is a power tire inflator portable air compressor. That's a mouthful. And I could see how this definitely would come in handy. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty standard. This one, though, has a battery that you can remove. And so it looks like sort of looks like a drill, really, and I think there's a 12 volt and a 20 volt battery that you can put on there, so it pumps your tire up fast. Again, this could apply to any vehicle, but the EVs specifically, if you have a tire issue, and fortunately EVs, they have less maintenance issues, but they are pretty rough on tires because they're such heavy vehicles, and if you do have an issue, there is no spare tire. So if you can get some air into that thing and get to a place where they can help swap the tire out, it's really helpful. It's something I really need to put in the back of my car to have with me at all times.
And maybe a can of Fix-A-Flat to go
That's
with
right.
it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the price point on that is $89.99, and I mean, you can just pick that Fix-A-Flat up anywhere and get it as a combo gift.
And so, I'll tell you, one of the reasons I have this one in there with the rechargeable batteries and stuff, my car has a cigarette lighter thing. A lot of those tire inflators have this, but you have to really search for it. So some of these EVs, they get to where the 12 volt power supply is like a micro USB. It's hard to find one of those cigarette lighter things. So just if you're going to get a tire inflator for someone, make sure somewhere in their car they have the power source available if it's not a battery powered.
Okay, so I think last year this was on our list. This looks very familiar to me. So I'm thinking this was on our list that last year. You have put it back on the list this year. So this is, and maybe if you are new to the EV world, you just got yours, you may not have this yet. So it's the extension cable, the J1772 extension cable for charging. So tell us about that.
Yeah, well, this is really handy, especially this time of year. People are traveling, visiting family, and the family where you're going, they might have somewhere you can plug your portable charger in, but it's not convenient because it was set up for a deep freeze or something like that, and so you can't really pull your car right up to it. I had that situation happen where my dad had a 240 volt outlet and I could plug into it, but I couldn't get all the way there. So what's nice about this, you can't just grab a 240 volt extension cable. In fact, sometimes if you try to do that, it'll recognize it and say this is not recommended. And so with having an extender that's sort of a little more official and designed for that, it could be the difference between trying to move everything out of the way to back your car all the way in to plug in, or just being able to snap it together and get a full charge.
And the price point for that, and that we just found that on Amazon, and the price point for that was $169, but that was for a 21 inch. So you can get them in all different lengths. So your price obviously would vary with the lengths. So, so this next one was a little different. This next pick, which I thought was kind of, we're trying to give a wide variety of things, but I do think this would be interesting. So this is either purchasing a DVD, or, a lot of people don't do DVDs anymore, but you can purchase the streaming of it as well. And it's a documentary, Who Killed the Electric Car. So first, have you seen this, and why are you recommending it?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm actually hoping, you mentioned maybe my wife's listening.
Oh, maybe she is. Here's another one.
Hopefully this will be one in the stocking.
Do I need to send her a list after this?
I think somebody's got to, yeah. No, I haven't seen it, but I need to take time to watch it. This is a really cool, true story about it's not the very first electric car, but it was one of the most important first manufactured electric cars by one of the big automakers. And it's got a cool story. Martin Sheen is in the movie, and of course we've talked about our friend in the car club who drove one of these vehicles for a little while. So it's really interesting. One of the things I love about the car club is that a lot of times you'll send an article to a friend and they'll read the headline, but they won't read the article. EV people are just different. They'll read the whole article. So if you've got that EV person in your life and they're curious, they're interested, and in learning more, a self-learner, this is something they're going to really enjoy.
Yeah, and again, this is a great price point. Depending on whether you stream it or what level of, if you're Amazon Prime or whatever, it could be anywhere from $3.59, and then if you want the DVD, for $13.97. So that's a really good price point. So the next one, which I think, again, can be for anybody. This is just, and in today's world, I think it's good to have, and that is you have the Ventura S Pro dash cam. S1, I think, or I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a dash cam on my car, and the amount of times that I've been thankful that I had it, being parked in a place that I'm not usually parked, and wondering, am I tight? Am I going to get hit? Taking your car to the repair place, and I had a situation where we were traveling, and it wasn't with my car; it was my wife's car. We were trying to get something fixed, and when we picked it up, the windshield was broken, and they told us it was like that when we brought it in. Well, it's my word against their word. There's really nothing I can do about that. But with the dash cam, you get all that storage. It's super handy.
Yeah. And the price point, we saw that on Amazon. Of course, there's all different makes and models on that, but the one that we were looking at, and again, we're just Googling good things, so you might want to do a little more research and on which one, but this one was around $219.99. So this is the last one we have, and I think this is another great. You can pick your price point, you can, great stocking stuffer, great whatever, and that is gift cards for charging or for downloading different car functions for your car.
Yeah, so, me and you have talked. I've had a month demo of full self-driving. I think that's $100. But there are different functions that are, the cars now are kind of like an iPhone. And so I can download an app to it. So there might be someone in your life that wants a month of full self-driving.
Right.
And you could provide that to them. or the supercharging network, or various DC fast chargers out there. There's all sorts of ways to give somebody like a prepaid card that would allow them to basically charge up for free, and it's kind of like a gas card. I remember when I was especially young married, and we got gas cards in our stocking from my parents and my in-laws. That was the thing everybody wanted, was a gas card. So this would be kind of equivalent to that.
Yeah. So again, that was our top 10, and again, want to reiterate, number one, we're not getting any kickbacks for any of this. We just got on there and Googled and thought this would be neat, this would be neat. And number two, remember the price points that we have given out. Their sales, their whatever, so these may not be accurate either. So make sure to check that out.
Amy, let me jump in too and say that some of the coolest things I ever hear about are from Car Club members. So if you're listening to the podcast or you're watching it and there's a cool gift that you got or you gave someone, send it to us or go to the Facebook group, put it out there, because there's all sorts of cool stuff that we don't even run across. So share those fun ideas.
Yeah, we need to start building our list for next year. So certainly, and if you get any really cool gadgets for Christmas that you think we need to share next year, let us know. Also, we will link all of these in the show notes so you can check them out there. But thanks to everybody that is listening. I hope everyone has a very magical, wonderful Christmas season, and you're enjoying riding around in your EV looking at Christmas lights this year. So hope this helps our little list as you're doing your Christmas shopping. And if any of you have any questions about MTE's EV Ready program, the night flex rate, the EV Car Club, or anything EV related, go to driveev.com or email us at evcarclub@mte.com. And until next time, plug in, power up, and drive safe.